What's good? What's good? What's good? Hopefully, we get some people in here. What's going on? Seti said, you're definitely first 8 minutes ago, man. What's happening with all y'all? You drink the rest of this coffee from the dregs of coffee from this morning. Yeah, so I'm waiting to get this argument back going that we were having earlier today on the other channel. Yo, now we can get into it. We don't have all the boxing fans over here getting in the way of the conversation. Let's see if y'all show up. Matter of fact, let me switch up something real quick. Let me put this out here because I'm challenging y'all to get on here. Yeah. Come on, man. I ain't trying to hear this. I need y'all to show up. With all that y'all had going on earlier today, put your money where your mouth is. She's not FDA, FBA. Y'all suck. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get it going again this fine day. The sponsor from yesterday still goes. Cal Cooler is still a sponsor. Sponsored $50. Only y'all can compete with him and have an MH Blackwell dude from the MH Blackwell channel. Take what's up, Daryl McKinney? What's up? I'm putting a link in everybody. Yeah, Joe A. People are saying she ain't Negro, man. She ain't Negro. Hell yeah. Also, I'm allowing for debates, independent debates on the channel as well this afternoon. If any of y'all want smoke with each other, this is the channel where you can freely get some smoke. We keep dime pieces. We keep dime pieces on the roll. Hey. What's up? Hey, what's up, Rick? Say what's up, Mr. Martin in the chat. It's not that she's not black. It's that she's not authentic. She's only black when convenient. Didn't grow up with a full-fledged black experience. What is a full-fledged black experience? I'd be interested to know that. I would be very, very interested to know what is an authentic black, what is the authentic black experience, full-fledged black experience. What is that exactly? I'm very interested. I don't know. I wonder if I have. Have I had that? I always think that I have. Joe A in the building. What up? Fanon, does where you born determine nationality? Your nationality? Yes. Absolutely it does. Yes. Not your culture, though. But that's kind of complex. You got a nation, you have people that can have dual nationality. And there are nations that are not nation states. No, it does not. You're out your fucking mind. What do you mean? Your father's sperm determines your nationality. So are you telling me? You're telling me that somebody that's born in the United States is not American if their father was born somewhere else? You're telling me, so what if your what is your father's nationality? Your nationality is what nation you're from. Your nationality is the nation that you are a citizen of. That is your nationality. You can have Jewish people who are Israeli and they can be American. They can be of two nations. They're not mutually exclusive. Dog, you can click the link. I'm not going to answer a bunch of those questions. You can click the link when I put it in there. Because now you're saying Negro. Negro is not a nationality. Mauve. Mauve, Adamant, Stone, Baltimore. Frederick Douglass. That question is not related. That's that shit that they taught you when you was in them colleges. Yeah, that's what the fuck happens in college. You learn shit. Nationality, though, no, sir. Nationality is really what they teach you in them middle schools. In the middle schools. That's what they teach you in them 7th grade. Hey, man, that man thought you learned the concept of nationality in college. No, man, you learn the concept of nationality before you even get into school. Dude, goodbye. Dog, shut up. Sir, I'm not talking to you about Frederick Douglass. You've never met him. Okay? We're stick to the subject, bro. Hey, Judge Joe Brown called her old hoe. That's fucked up. Shut up for a second. Stop asking me so many damn questions. Okay? You're on statement number 15. You're on like argument. You're like on shit number 15, bro. I'm about to throw you out, dog. You know what I mean? What nation are you from? It's in the word. What nation are you from? But there are nations that are not nation states. Nations can also be tribes. Like that. Like a nation and a tribe is basically the same thing. Basically the same thing. You know what I mean? Igbo, it could be the Igbo nation, Cherokee nation. It's when they call it tribe, it's because it's like, you know. So if you mean it in that sense, have you heard Judge Joe Brown's reason why she isn't black? Is he correct or not? No, I have not. Listen to Judge Joe Brown, but I'll pull it up. What did Judge Joe Brown say about Kamala Harris not being black? Judge Joe Brown going in. Why you calling her a piece of shit? Come on, god dog. That's a little rough, ain't you? Don't you think? All right, I'll listen to what old Judge Joe Brown has to say. This dude, That dude. Bitch, I'm from Texas. Look, man, I ain't trying to hear all that shit. Joe, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. I ain't trying to hear that, man. Look, if you in these here United States, you in these here United States rules. If you is of the Negro variety, we treat Negro and black as synonymous. If you have some Negro in you, you are black, and you are black if you have Negro. That right there is a Negro. She Negro. She Negro. She Negro. Okay? So let's not play around no more. I hate this thing. I'm about to get rid of this shit. I don't even like this. I can't fuck with this. I can't fuck with this. I tried my best, so I can't fuck with that. I'll figure something else other than that. Hold on a second. I got to get Megan up on my back. Okay? I can't do that shit. Get off my back, Megan. Get off my back. You can't do that. I'll just pull in Master Khalik. I would love to hear these arguments that you have for a black woman not being black. What is fake black? Proven fact. If your father is black, and you guys keep saying this shit. Where do you guys get this stuff from? Is that like, did you read that in the Bible or something? Is that in the Bible? Is that in the Quran or something? I know Kamala Harris is black. I can't see that. Big punch. Her father is not black. Her father is black. What do you mean? She is no black. Yes, she is black. Why she say she black then? Why is that? Why does she look black then? Why does she sound black then? Why does her daddy look black then? Why is she going to black schools? And why is she having sex with black mayors? I mean, she looks like a whole lot of other black girls that I see. Is she like some biological, like somehow magically she has all of the appearance of a black person, but she just, look, let's get to the chase, bro. You just don't want her to be black. And I don't think we need that. I got a video where she said she's of Asian descent. She mentioned no part. She is, you know how people do. They be like, hey, first of all, you don't have to tell anybody you black. They can see it. So, hey, yeah, I'm of this descent. Yeah, I'm of Greek descent too. Hey, said they get that from Professor Grip from Public Enemy. Is that where they get that shit from? They got that shit from Professor Grip about some magical, what is that? Some like magical Hebrew prophecy or some shit. That, I'm sorry, no disrespect to the Hebrews. Is that some just, some like brown paper? What about the brown paper bag? You don't know what the brown paper bag rule is, do you? Big punch. Big punch. You don't know what you're using the brown paper bag test the wrong way. All right. Everybody that's subject to the brown paper bag test is black. Only everybody taking the brown paper bag test is black. Yeah, that's what I thought. You read it in a book somewhere. Right. You got that from a book somewhere. You clown. You got that from a fucking book somewhere. Where some tribe of this or tribe of that had a rule for that tribe, you buffoon, as to who was a member of their tribe. Okay? Our tribe is the United States of America. And in the United States of America, you are what you are when you got black in you. It don't matter if it's your mama or your father, your ass is black. Okay? Mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, paternal grandfather, father, paternal grandmother. If any of them got it in there either, there you go. Ancestry doesn't have DNA. And of course, I didn't see her DNA, and neither did you. So what difference does it make if I saw her, if I saw it? If I saw her DNA? Have you seen my DNA? I haven't seen your DNA. I see her DNA. I see the expression of her DNA on her black ass face. Man, how about you get on the chat and talk, you fraud? Jared W., I'm sorry. Yeah, I can. Anyway, all to you, Professor, I get to tell people who's a Negro. It's biblical. Where does this say that? What's the voice? Men of valor, give me the chapter and verse where it says that. Her father is black. Her father's black. But whatever, man. I want to hear the dumbass arguments you guys have for why a black woman ain't black. I won't even argue with you. You know what I'm saying? I won't even argue with you. Lena Horne black, but she can't be black. Like, are you out your mind? Chris Brown's black, she ain't black. Can you put a Jared W? You got to put it back in the comment section, man, if it's gone. If I missed it, put it up there one time, bro. I don't want to have to go looking for your comment. You trying to send me up? You trying to send me on a goose chase? Rewrite it, Jared W. I don't mind talking to you, but I don't know you well enough to go looking, searching for your past comments. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to put it there. Fanon, did you see the transgender female beat up a woman in the Olympics, almost caused her to die? No, I don't think it almost caused her to die. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month and declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Dumbass, all that fucking means is you take your father's last name. Dumbass. That means you take the last name of your father. That does not mean that you take the nationality of your father. What are you talking about? If a black man marries a white man, I'm sorry, that's what y'all do. Nah, bro. Nah, no, it doesn't, dumbass. That's talking about your pedigree. Where's the pedigree? How do you associate the name pedigree with the nation, with your nationality, your pedigree of your father? Do you realize that do you realize that you would be of different nations if you have oh Lord. That's a last name, bro. That's your last name. That's your family name. Your pedigree is your accomplishments. Your pedigree. You think everybody of the same race has the same pedigree? It's a type. It's a pedigree. It's oh my God. The record of descent of an animal, showing it to be purebred. You are going with the line of your father. The line of your father. That says absolutely nothing to do. There can be different pedigrees in the same nation. When you talk about pedigree in the sense of when you talk about the pedigree in the sense exactly your bloodline, not your nationality, your bloodline. I am of the bloodline of my father, so my last name is Blackwell. That's what you're talking about. That's why you say she's not black. If you don't kick rocks, see, that's the problem with quoting the Bible. It's so open for interpretation because you're talking about a culture and a group of people that lived, a lot of it being allegory, but the people that actually lived were your bloodline is of your father. Your bloodline, your father. If I have a different father than you have, then I am then you of your father's pedigree. I'm of my father's pedigree. They're of two. Man, oh my God, man. Goodbye, bro. Like I said, man, come on, man. Don't do that to me. That's why I don't like to talk about the Bible. It's not allocated. If it's allocated to land, Rollo, then it's the United States of America, because that's the land we're living on. We're living in the land of the United States of America. Anyway, man, I'll put the link in the chat, but please don't do the Bible verses with me, man. Please don't misinterpret them, liberally interpret or conservatively or completely misrepresent what's written there. Man, come on, man. I wasn't happy about that, bro. Are you calling me gay, bro? Men of Valor, Adamite, Stone, Baltimore. You must be an Edomite, Fananatar. Is that you? What is that? What's the Edomite? What is that? That's probably somebody that's gay or something. Like, dude, shut up, bro. I like I said, man, just stop with the Bible. I mean, trust me, I love God as much as I possibly. I mean, come on, man. Every day, several times a day, always thankful. But man, put that. Don't go waving that shit in my face, man. Dude, goodbye. You're out of here. That's enough. I put the link in there. You didn't click it. You're gone. I don't need watch time that bad, man. Bug the fuck off. Like I said, we don't live in ancient Assyria. We don't live in ancient Assyria. We live in the United States of America. In the United States of America, that's a black chick. Stop all the crazy shit. What did Moses say? What did Ebenezer, Jeremiah said that she's Caucasian. You know what I mean? It just, come on, man. Please don't do that to me, man. Please don't have me out here looking like a blasphemer. Rollo, why you ain't clicked the link? You ain't blocked over here, Rollo. You ain't blocked over here, Rollo. This is where the smoke is. Anyway, yeah, man. Yeah. So, where were we, man? Where were we? I was getting a sip of this coffee is where I am. You are what your father is. You are what your father is. Then she's black. Then she's black. What if you don't know who your daddy is? Marcus Priest, what's up, man?
MH Blackwell, what's good?
Man, I'm chilling, just up here talking shit. Man.
I'm glad I finally caught you on here.
What'd you say?
Glad I finally caught you on here.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm here, man. So what's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't care what kind of color she is or what she claiming or whatever. Like that's really don't matter to me. But with these politicians, it's like they pop up every 4 to 8 years or whatever, and they want the black vote. And as a community, we don't get anything for the vote. Especially Democratic. So I would like her to point blank say, what's her agenda, for the black community, because every other community, pretty much gets something, as far as protection, what I'm saying, or whatever. Like I remember when COVID happened and people was wilding out and, hurting the Asian community or whatever. I mean, they was quick to pass a bill, to cut that out. That was a federal crime real quick if you put your hands on an Asian person, Why can't the black community get that? You know, seem like everybody else is protected but us. You know, and that's my only thing. It's like they need our vote, you know, numerically, you know, but they never do anything for it. You know, so I would just like to hear her say what she's planning to do, you know, and no sitting Democratic president has ever done it since I've been alive. Say point blank what they're willing to do for the African American community, you know, and actually do it, you know. So that's my stance. Yeah, I can give a damn if she's AKA. I can give a damn if she, you know, she's Indian or South Asian or, you know, black or, you know, whatever. Like I don't care about none of that. Like, and nobody else really should either. Like, what's her politics? That's the only thing that matters, really, to me.
And which is why I always think it's almost stupid. Like the whole conversation is stupid. Hey, because I don't want to vote for her because of her policies. Like I just pulled up and like I said, I'm getting into politics again. Like, you know, I enjoy it. I have an education in it, like a broad background, but like local, you know, like the very new issues and specific politician stances. It's going to take me a while to get caught up here. But she wants immigrants who are in the country illegally to be eligible for health care, and she wants to decriminalize border crossings. You know, I wouldn't have a problem with that if we weren't at war. There's policies on Gaza. She's pro-abortion, obviously. She's just going to carry the Democratic line all the way down. So to me, it just seems like it's going to be like, you know, like unless you can move the policies of the policies of the entire party, like until you can move like all of the Democrats towards something that will really benefit black people, the individual positions or what is said by any in particular politician it seems like it's no more influential in moving those things down the road than like say a individual voter is to get the mayor of a city elected. It just, you know, she can push it, but unless her party is really behind it and willing to compromise and do things like that with the people that aren't in favor of it, you know, you're just going to get like the general policies that both the Democrats and both the Democrats and the Republicans both support at the same time. And that's why like military and Israel, and they get all the funding they need because both parties agree on it. They never fight over it. But the second you have any fight from one side or the other, it's really difficult to make any type of progress in it. So I just think that there needs to be like number one, if more black people voting, if they're going to vote in both parties. And you know what I mean? And both vote very heavily on issues, because I'm sure a lot of Jewish people are very heavy on, you know, on Israel and like not all of them, obviously. But I think, you know, as long as people are doing things like trying to kick people out of the race and they're just calling everybody a coon if they think about like, you know, more Republican or more conservative type of ideas, because until you can get people to compromise on any particular thing, nothing's really going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, it's just a bunch of, from what I see, it's just a bunch of usury. You know, like, you know, why would you?
You have to help me out with that word.
I mean, it's so much going. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, you know, they pop their head up, you know, every 4 to 8 years, you know, wanting a black vote because, you know, numerically they need it, you know. But like I said, you look around and you got all these immigrants that you're paying to be here. You're bringing them in the country and you're paying them, you know what I'm saying, to be here, you know, and they're flooding all the major cities. You know, they're literally busting them in, you know, putting them up in hotels, giving them food vouchers, giving them checks, you know what I'm saying, every week. You know, I mean, that's crazy, you know, and you have people that work every day that are American citizens that still can't, make ends meet. So I mean, why wouldn't you take care of your own first? Why would you let somebody in, that, no offense, but don't speak the language, and you paying them to be here. That's the crazy part. Like, they're getting free money just to be here. And I ain't hating on them, because if I was one of them, I'd take it too. But I just don't understand, like, how can you open up a country and pay somebody to be here when you have tax-paying citizens that's working, one or two jobs, that's barely getting by, who can't get those same concessions.
Yeah, and there's the thing, but you have to be able to address like corporatism in order to solve that, from what I can see, because the reason why corporations are the reason why that would be the case. Businesses are the reason why that would be the case, because they want more. They want to suppress the income, the cost of the labor. If you have manual labor and you allow a bunch of people in from the South to take over the manual labor, it's going to drive down the cost of labor. And if you raise the cost of the goods or service that you charge, you wind up, wage suppression. You wind up making more profit.
Yeah, but you can't legally hire them anyway. You have E-Verify. You can't legally hire them anyway.
They do legally hire them, though. They absolutely hire them, though. But they hire them, though. Why couldn't you legally? Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to be able to legally hire them. But if you're talking about somebody working on a farm or agricultural things, or somebody picking.
Yeah. But I mean, they're coming in droves. You know what I'm saying? And millions of them. So all of them ain't working in fields and doing warehouse jobs, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but all of them aren't. But enough of them are to drive down the costs.
Yeah.
It's enough of them are to drive down the costs. And then they also want to give them a pass to citizenship.
Man.
So you get them in, and then you figure out how you make them citizens later. But still, if you're talking about like machinery, jobs with machinery, probably skill, and even from Mexico too, probably skilled labor, carpenters, like a lot of these. I don't know whether or not these guys that are building these houses out here in Texas are actually, U.S. citizens. They don't speak English. So, and if they can get over the border, they can probably come in and come back and forth over it. So, yeah, but people definitely do hire them illegally, have them on the payroll illegally, pay them in cash, things like that.
Yeah, and the bulk of them, just send their money back home anyway. They don't want to stay over here. They come over here, get the money, what I'm saying, send it back, build them a house, and, go back to where they came from in a lot of instances. So I mean, as a born American, I think it's un-American, not to take care of your own.
I agree with you.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. At 18, a lot of my friends and most of my family was in the military. You go in right, you come out wrong, and all that other stuff or whatever, and like you got to take care of your own, man. Like, I don't give a damn about corporations or whatever. They got enough money to give people a living wage, because that's all people want. They nobody's trying to be, rich at the end of the day. They just want a living wage. A nice house, money to buy beer when you get off. Eat a nice meal, and lay in your bed or whatever, and be able to pay your bills. And have a little bit left over. I mean, that's living comfortably. For most people. I mean, everybody don't have to drive, a Bentley or a Lamborghini or Ferrari and all that other crazy shit that you see on TV, but at the end of the day, I mean, these corporations make well enough money, especially their CEOs who get themselves a bonus, every goddamn month. They make enough money to give people, Americans a living wage. All of them do. I mean, when they get sued and they have to, You know,
they make enough money if they wanted, if that's what they were in business to do, but they're not in the business to do that.
yeah. I
It's
mean, I understand. I understand. You
let me
know.
finish, hey, let me just finish real quick. What I was gonna
Okay.
say.
My bad. My bad.
In other words, yeah, man, they corporations don't operate like that. Corporations are, first of all, they're not human beings. They are entities that are run by analytics. They don't have a brain. A person that gets paid by that corporation, whether if it's a publicly traded corporation, is subject to always having continued growth. If your company stagnates and then the value of your stock drops, that CEO loses his job because the CEO is not the company, right? If in publicly traded corporations, and if they will be dismissed and they will bring somebody else in, so they have to be very, very ruthless in pursuing profit and greater profits, continually greater and greater profits all the time. And so as long as you have an organization that is motivated like that, you are going to have them drive down costs. And so they're going to automate jobs, outsource jobs. The jobs that they can't do that with, they're going to drive the price of them way down by making sure there's way more people asking for the job than there are jobs available. Because if as long as you're in a situation where there are more people wanting jobs than jobs are available, then you are going to be, then that business it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. But and it's that certain way in certain what do you call it, in certain job sectors. I don't know what they specifically are, but my understanding is that there's a lot of jobs where they say, well, there's a lot of jobs, but there's not the people to fill them. But anyway, man, yeah.
But let me give you a quick example right quick. So I'm a chef, right? So pre-pandemic, I'm a chef who oversees chefs. So pre-pandemic, an hourly chef would, on the high side would make anywhere from $15 to $18. Sometimes 20. Pre-pandemic. Once the pandemic hit and everything opened back up, a lot of folks just was doing other things. They didn't come back to work. So the price for these same people literally doubled. Like literally.
What? The what?
The price for the same people literally like almost doubled.
Right, because there's less people available to do it.
Yeah, what I'm saying? And it's been like that, since then. You can get a cook for, where you pre-pandemic, you can get a cook for, anywhere from $12 to $15 an hour. If they got a lot of experience, you can get them for 20. Now it's like 25, 30, an hour, for the same thing, doing the same job, pre-pandemic. Restaurant hours is as used to be, stretched from like, some establishments closed at like 12 on the weekends, 2:00 or whatever. I'm in Georgia, so outside of Atlanta. So a lot of most restaurants now close at 9:00. On the weekends 10. And profits are still up. So you're paying more for the same product. You're closing earlier. You're paying more for food. But yet you're still making a profit. So I said all that to say this: it can be done because it is being done. You just being greedy for the sake of being greedy. Like I said, the people just want a living wage, man.
In that scenario, are you talking about like a small business? Are those small business?
No, these was like hotel chains, restaurants. Okay. Hotel chain restaurants, chain restaurants. Probably any and everywhere you eat at. Like think about me the next time you go to a restaurant. And you peep there and you see a cook. They best believe that cook is making about $25, $30 an hour. So that's what I'm talking about. Same thing as Texas. My brother lives outside of Dallas. So it's the same thing in Texas. So it's like that everywhere, actually. All across America. The pandemic did that. You know, so it can be done. You know, you just have to look at
Well,
things differently.
that's not a decision. That's not a decision of the corporation to pay those extra wages. They're being forced to pay those extra wages
Yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah,
right. Yeah, but that's not the same thing as saying that there's a business that's motivated to pay you more money for the sake of that. If they have, they won't be able to. They are. That's not their decision to do that. They would pay you less money if they could do it.
yeah,
So that's just
yeah.
more. That's just the cost that the market bears now that they have to pay. But they're not going out of their way to try to pay you any extra money.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
That's just somebody. They're just getting told no for a certain amount of money, and then it's like, okay, no, well, we know what the going rate is, and once as long as they get up towards where the going rate is, then they'll get the people. But but as far as like people, coming over, people that come over, like let's get off like Mexicans because the people always think about that and talk about like IT workers and doctors because so many people, so many doctors are coming from India, IT workers are coming from India, the knowledge workers, those jobs, the rates for those jobs that businesses used to get for those same jobs, it's commoditized.
Yeah, and they get trained for free in that country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, but I'm telling you, when they come over here, because there's so many, if you got like and technology does the same thing with corporations. Their lawyers don't have the same, like paralegals and a lot of the work that needs to be done in law firms. A lot of that stuff has been really, really, really streamlined. You can actually, I mean, in AI now, artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, that's gonna change the game.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not. It's going to change the way the technology and market forces change them all the time. They consistently change it, but it's only going to be when there's like really like interest, like really like as long as you have profit being the motor. Profit is always, at least is the way that I see it. Profit is the primary motivating factor. You're always going to trying to get more out of it than you put in. And as long as you try to put more out, you try to take something more out of something that you put in, eventually it's going to be out of balance and more out of balance. And then you got to do all kind of things to correct it. So like that's why you see the effect of business, entire industries leaving the United States and going to South America or going to going to Asia. Eventually, it's going to wind up being in Africa, because they have all of the labor and they have a lot of labor, young labor, lands for factories, and eventually, because that's where the lowest cost labor is going to be, the manufacturing is going to move over there as well. So, I mean, it's a complicated system that a politician operates within, but please don't look for businesses that do not have a brain, right?
I
Because
mean,
they only have. Go ahead, man.
yeah, I feel you, but just as an American, what I'm saying, you take care of your own. That's the crutch of what I'm saying. I understand.
You're
I
being
understand what you're saying, and I agree. I agree 1,000%. I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm in business. I get it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But until you have all machines.
You went away, Marcus. You calling me Brody, G? That ain't a good way to get. Dog, that ain't a good way to get no wrench. Oh, Barbara D. I got to get Barbara D her wrench though. Hold on, man. I can't give it a wrench unless I hold on one second. Hold on. All right, Barbara D. Let me get that wrench for you, Barbara D. As well as my guy, Bumpy Thompson. What up, Bumpy Thompson? We're going to go on a little bit of a wrench spree real quick. Shout out to you, brother. DH in the building. You know we're going to give DH that wrench too. Since y'all coming through. Daryl McKinney. All right, and I'll stop right there. No, I mean, it's just interesting, man. It's not as cut, it's just not as cut and dry as people think it is. A lot of times, a lot of people think it is. Very, like, dude, capitalism definitely has its weaknesses. Blind adherence to the concept of the free market is, you can't act like if you say, hey, it's about the people, you need to take care of your people. That doesn't work with capital. That doesn't work with capitalism. Let's take care of your people. No, that's But if you believe in capitalism, you got to understand that that's a game of winners and losers. And there's going to be some winners and there's going to be a lot of losers. You know what I mean? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Barbara D. There's going to be a lot of winners and there's going to be a lot of losers in capitalism. So if you are a black person that believes in capitalism and I want to be a corporate, I want to be a multimillionaire, I want to be the leader of men, you're going to have to understand that there's going to be an imbalance in that no matter what you do. And some of y'all are going to lose. And that's what the system of racism does. It ensures that many of the people that lose are going to be black. and your skin color is going to inhibit you and make it more likely that you lose. Hey, no worry, Bumpy Thompson. You got you. Edwin Volatile, man. What up, bro? Yeah, we can't all be millionaires. So there you go. We can't all be millionaires. Since we can't all be millionaires, somebody gonna be broke. So why are you surprised when there are broke people? You're just unhappy that it's you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough thing. That's why I don't blame. Look, the president is a role in the system, in the federalist system. There's something called, separation of powers, which means no branch of the federal government is going to have complete control of it. The body politic. You say, yep, it's an unpopular truth, but it's still true. Yeah, anyway, so that's good. Who else is up? Hey, that's what's up. Yeah, it's just going to be an imbalance. You can't want to be the guy with all the money. I want to live in the big house, bigger than everybody else's, and I want to make all this money. I want you to buy for me, but I'm not going to spend much. That's an imbalance. And if you want that, you got to be willing to say, hey, man, there's a lot of people that are going to be without since I snatched this money up for myself. You know what I mean? Because they believe in a sense of competition. And that's when you listen to people talk about Americans and all of the, kind of trope conversations that go on, the American values, hard work and don't rely on the government. And hard work and don't ask for nothing. You're the better America if you don't ask for nothing. And that's why they say, yeah, we ain't asking for nothing, instead, including your government. See what I mean? Man, you've been saying she ain't black, don't mean she ain't black. Politicians, nah. Politicians, I mean, rich is a relative term, but most politicians are not rich. There are a lot of rich people that become politicians, though. There's a lot of politicians that are not rich. Is that God's way? What you mean is what God's way? Man, I can't believe I can never get no smoke. I can never get no smoke. I don't want no smoke, though. Oh, I put the wrong thing, the link. Oh, jeez. Your mom not black. Your mom, my mom's not black. My mother is very black. My mother is completely Negro. My mother is black, bliggity, black, black, black. Bliggity black, biggity black, biggity black. There's the link. Biggity black, bitty, biggity black, blittity black. I don't know what you're talking about. Why you think my mother's not black? Just because she ain't all African? She is black. Oh, Marlo, thank you. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Yeah, we just a mixed up bunch, you know. Just a mixed up bunch. How can I help you, King?
Hey, good afternoon, Kanan.
Good afternoon, King.
Hey, I wanted to get your take on the Project 25. Have you heard about Project 2025?
Refresh my memory.
It's a project that the extreme conservatives want to do to consolidate the federal government and give a bunch of power to the executive branch. What do you think about that? If you don't mind giving me your thoughts on it whenever you get to look into it and stuff.
Project 25. Building now for a conservative victory through policy, personnel, and training. Get the facts. Let me get the facts because I know who I'm talking to. The left has spent millions fear-mongering about Project 25 because they're terrified, whatever. What are you not? What are you, brother? What is it? 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 Terminate the Constitution, false. Okay, it's a bunch. They're saying they're getting lied on by a lot of people. So let's just act. Let's just ask, what are you? What do you guys actually believe? This book is a product of more than 400 scholars and policy experts from across the conservative movement and around the country. The contributors, This agenda is prepared by and for conservatives who will be ready one day of the next administration to save our country. The Heritage Foundation is once again facilitating this. Okay, so that is the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation, I do believe, is a conservative think group of which those very, very wealthy Kansas City dudes are a member. This once again facilitating this work, but dozens of partners and The next conservative. Okay, so what exactly is your policies? Okay, so they definitely have a complete policy for every subject matter in the government. Let me do the forward.
I mean, it's really interesting when you get into it.
Restore family is the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. Secure our God-given individual rights to live freely, what our Constitution calls base of liberty. Central. Okay, so they're basically what they believe in is states' rights. It's a states' rights organization.
So
States' rights.
do you agree with their initiative?
Their initiative, I don't know enough about their initiative to
Okay.
agree with their initiative. They just have an initiative. However, what they are is that it's a conservative think tank. So what is a conservative think tank, and what are the issues that relate to a liberal think tank? As far as war goes, they're both interventionists, so it doesn't make a difference to me. Well, they're less interventionist, I would suspect. Traditional national conservative people believe in protecting borders and focusing in the United States, period. So I can kind of feel them on that. States' rights, I think that's very dangerous. I think that's a very dangerous issue. But it comes down to the Constitution. Are you a strict interpretationalist? Are you a strict interpretationalist of the Constitution, or do you have more of a flexible, basically growing interpretation of the U.S. Constitution? Do you know what I mean by that?
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What is it?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You're saying you
Which
either
are
look
you?
at the Constitution like word for word in detail and you follow it strictly, or the other way around, right?
Well, it's
Depends on how you
basically
look at it.
this. It's a little bit off. You have the founders, because the founders founded the United States of America. That is the bedrock, and that is what they agreed to when they had a federal government. You have a federal government, and then you have states. In order for those states to have created the United States of America, they had to create a union. So when you had the Declaration of Independence, and it's signed by all of those different people, and you have the U.S. Constitution, which was enacted after the Revolutionary War. You had individual states who've now broken off from Great Britain or the United Kingdom, and they're deciding what form of government should we have. And they agreed upon a federal system where you have a overall sizing government that basically resides over the states. And so, but there's an issue about what things are for the federal government to do and what are the states. The basic premise is that everything not specifically given to the federal government in the Constitution should be left for the people of the states to decide for themselves. If the state of Mississippi wants to have no abortion and Illinois wants to have abortion, Mississippi alone gets to determine that for Mississippi, and Illinois gets to determine that for Illinois. That's why there are different states where the federal government will intervene, where the original 13 colonies had agreed that the federal government will intervene in situations that include interstate commerce, when there are things money moving across state lines, and other things specifically enumerated in the Constitution, war, things like that. So, to what extent do you believe that that the original federal reasons that the states agreed to be bound within a federal system, should we stick with the original intention of those states, which was those very limited things, or should the government and the courts, the Supreme Court and the executive branch and the federal legislature, be able to continue to move that, considering, the thought processes of people that live right now? So I don't think it's so simple as to look at anybody's particular agenda, because an agenda is there because they're trying to accomplish a certain goal and have certain policies, in place. I myself am not so sure.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate your opinion on it. I just thought it was
Yeah, I didn't actually give you an opinion.
initiative.
I didn't actually give you an opinion.
Your take on the project, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Any more questions?
By the way, we agree on I'm not voting for Kamala or Trump either, and I can vote because I'm a citizen. But yeah, because they both got their issues. But it is what it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime over here, if you want to talk about civil
Politics.
liberties and
Right.
constitutional law and all those type of things, yeah, no worries. As long as we don't have arguments where
As long as it don't involve tank and Bud and all that.
no, I mean like as long as we are not doing things like saying things that are not true. And if we base
Okay.
if we base what we're going to talk of, if you base an opinion, the opinion should be backed up by at least a solid understanding of how U.S. government, U.S. history, and all of those things interact with each other.
Okay.
And see, that's why I say that I'm an American.
Yeah, you're an
I
American.
know how it works. I don't know,
US
King. I don't
citizen.
think you know. I don't really think you understand how America works.
I'm a U.S. citizen as well, so it is what it is.
I mean, you're a U.S. citizen, but I'm not quite sure if you understand how the federalist system works. Do you know how the federalist system works?
I took AP government in high school, advanced placement government. I think I have an idea, but we don't have to go in. We don't have to go into all that, man. We just I just want to give you my take.
What's the role of the legislature, the executive,
Come
and
on,
the
man. You're
judicial
talking about
branch?
the three branches now. They're the better balanced by the checks and balances. So no
Yeah,
branches.
what are their roles? What are their roles?
You want me to go into each one?
Yeah, what are the roles? Yeah, it's not
The
that.
legislature, the Senate, and the Congress. You got the judicial, which is your Supreme Court, and the executive branch is the president and its secretaries and all that.
No, I asked, what are they responsible for? What is their jobs?
That doesn't that
What is
answer?
what is the legislative branch? What is their job?
Pass laws.
To pass laws, to write laws.
Write laws, pass.
Okay, no, write laws. That's what they do. They write laws. When it passes, that's an internal process to the legislature. That's all of that, the bill making, all of that is an internal process. What they do is they write the laws. What does the executive branch do?
President has to sign the law before it goes through.
No. That's not no. That's not his job. What is his job?
The president's job?
Yeah, what is the president's job?
I mean, you could be talking about anything. The president's job is
it's very simple. If the legislature makes laws, is that short to know what the president does?
He can either reject it or accept it, whatever it is.
No, his job is to enforce the laws.
Okay. Yeah. That's the better way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the judicial branch? What is their job?
That's the Supreme Court. I mean, I don't know
what is their
I don't know what
job?
you're looking for exactly.
I'm looking for what their job is.
What's the Supreme Court's job?
I'll make it very simple. If the legislature writes the law, the executive branch enforces the law. What does the judicial branch do?
They decide if the law is lawful or not and stuff like that.
It interprets.
It's constitutional.
No,
if it's constitutional.
Let me help you. It interprets the law
to decide whether it's constitutional or not. Right?
No, it interprets it. It tells you what it means.
Okay.
That's what it means. It tells you what the law means. So when they're looking at the Constitution, they're looking and telling you what the Constitution means.
Yeah.
When they are looking at the law, your law, and telling you the question of whether it's constitutional or not is depending upon their interpretation of the Constitution, and also their interpretation of all the other laws, regulations that have been passed. But their guiding light is the Constitution. Okay. Their guiding light now, if the Supreme Court is interpreting the law, if the Supreme Court interprets the law, and if the judicial branch interprets the law, and the state and the executive enforces it, and the legislature writes it, what is the governor's job?
You mean by state?
Yes, what is the governor's job?
To maintain it, enforce it in their state?
To enforce the law of the state. Whose job is it? What is the state's legislature's job?
You talking about the House of Representatives?
The state legislature. There's a branch called legislature. The legislature. The legislatures are broke up into two parts. One is the Senate and one is the Congress.
I know that, yeah.
The Senate is the landowners. There's fewer of them, and the congressmen represent the people. That's who writes the laws.
Mm-hmm.
The representatives of the people of the entire state, which would be a senator, and of the individual districts or smaller districts, which would be the congressmen. But they are both in what you call the legislative branch.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So that same structure operates within the state. It also operates that way within municipalities, counties, cities. Every branch of government on every level of government, whether it is federal, state, local, has that same structure. And to answer your question about the Heritage Foundation, you line all those up and then you see how they all relate to each other. How the legislature of the state relates to the legislature of the federal government.
Okay.
So that's where you say states' rights. And guess what else they have when you have the relationship between the state and between the federal government and the state? What's the lower level relationship between the state and what?
Counties?
They're counties and counties to cities.
Right.
So all of those things are a question of to the people. The smaller you get, the closer you get to the actual people.
That's right. That's what a bureaucracy is, right? That's what you call
that.
That
is essentially conservatives. That's why conservatives believe that it goes all around to the individual sovereign citizen. So the sovereign citizen movement would be talking about, because all of that shit boils down to the individual person, which is more fundamental to the relationship even than the representative system. That the rights all vest within the individual, and they can opt in and opt out of local, county, state, and federal government. And why they consider to be the rule of the federal government to be more tyrannical than the state, because the state is closer to the individual person. And why the city would think the state could be tyrannical to the city, and why the city could be tyrannical to the neighborhood and the homeowners association, all the way down there. So when you ask me questions about what do I think about that, I think all of it is just an attempt to manipulate that federalist system and move it closer towards something that is national, and national more closely to the local. And they all have to interact with each other, because there truly are national issues that should be addressed on a national basis. Involuntary servitude needed to be addressed on a national basis and not on a state basis, because that is more closely connected to the human rights of the individual. And no state should be able to trump the human right of an individual. So therefore, the civil rights or the human rights trump federal, trump state. Because the government is there to serve the individual, not the other way around, which is when you bring in capitalism and oligarchies and corporate structures, then you start treating corporations as if they're people. Then the government becomes responsible to the to the corporations.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you broke that down like a 57 Chevy.
What?
You broke that down pretty well.
Yeah,
So I
man.
appreciate it,
Anytime,
man.
man. I don't mind having these. I don't mind having conversations about government, because this is a conversation about civics and government and how all this stuff operates. Most people that talk about U.S. politics don't understand actually what these people are doing and what their actual jobs are. Many people that are talking about Kamala Harris don't understand what her job is right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what Kamala Harris's job is right now?
As a vice president?
Yeah, what's her job? That's her title.
Being
What's
a
her
vice
job?
president of the United States, or
That's her title, but that's not really her job.
are you asking me what the job requirements of a vice president is?
No, what is the job that she actually does?
I don't know. If that's what you're asking.
She's the president of the Senate.
Okay. Oh yeah,
She's
VPs.
Kamala
VPs
Harris is
are
the president of the Senate. If
You're
there's a
right.
tie in the Senate, she is the deciding vote in the Senate. She provides over the Senate. So while she provides over the the upper chamber of the legislative branch, the president oversees what?
Man, you remember your government stuff pretty well.
I'm American,
But
man. Every U.S. citizen should know this. Before you give your opinion, she breaks ties. The president is the commander in chief. He is the chief executive officer of the military. He goes up and fucks over other countries.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He is the commander in chief of all of the armed forces, and she is the president of the Senate.
Yeah, that refreshes my memory on some of this stuff. But you've got it.
No worries, man.
Yeah.
You don't need you don't have to commit it to memory if you truly understand the nature of it.
That is true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think I took too much interest into it, but I mean, I didn't take too much interest into it, but I mean, you breaking it down, makes sense. So it's a good conversation.
The buzzword politics and all that stuff kind of fly by me. I have different expectations for the president, because I know that in order that I do believe that the way that his job is to enforce them. Now, he can veto it because he is the popular elect. He can veto it. But guess what happens?
What's that?
If they send it back and they get a certain vote, they can override his veto and it becomes law.
Is that like have to be a bigger majority? Does it have to be a bigger majority?
I can't remember. I think it may be, somebody can tell me what it is, maybe 2/3 of the Senate. I don't know if it has to be 2/3 of the Senate to override it. I forget the number. But if there's a certain number that you have to overcome. Matter of fact, if a bill goes through the Congress, is introduced in Congress, and then it makes it to the Senate, it can be rejected. It can be rejected in all kind of. But those are the technicalities of the legislation itself. And I'm not as quick with the mechanisms of the legislative branch in particular, or the mechanisms of the executive branch, like the executive orders and how you use executive orders to override legislation, and the relationship between that and the Supreme Court. When you start getting into the details of that, it winds up getting a little bit more complicated in the general function in the specific functioning of it. But you have to have it. But if you have an understanding of, overriding understanding of civics, then you can kind of figure out where you are. But yeah, so I can't tell you really what I think about their thing, other than generally they're conservatives. So generally speaking, what they're going to want to do is they're not going to want a lot of federal intervention into their business. That's what conservatives, they don't like the IRS, because they don't believe that the government was allowed to tax private citizens on their income. And they definitely shouldn't be getting property tax because the property is the property of the state. So they don't believe that the federal government, they think that the federal government should be smaller government. Smaller government means less money out of the pockets of businesses and individuals. They believe in trickle-down economics, some version of it where very, very wealthy people add to the economy, and as a result, their money will trickle down to the jobs they provide. You know, which is a little bit of a perversion of what actually happens, but whatever.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Thanks, man. All right.
Peace. Hey, what up, Steph Brown? Love the extra content and channel. This MHB will lead to an indispensable contribution to chat family who will listen. Love it, brother. Hey, thank you, man. Inheritance tax. Yeah, I don't like I said, like T Orlando would be a little bit better. Would Bobby be a lot better than me at that? But, you know, and then when you get into the whole legislative branch and constitutional interpretation and like the act, all of the different layers and things you need to do to actually interpret the laws, I understand the interpretation of the law better than I do the specific enforcement and the writing of the law. Or at least the processes involved with them. But I get it all, generally speaking. Haba Brayo, the VP can also sign off in invoking the 25th Amendment. That's how they got Biden out of there. He was threatened with the 25th. I think the 25th. No, the 25th. I think the 25th Amendment is related. It definitely relates to what happens in the case of the death of the president. But again, man, yeah. Amendments, constitutions, all that good old stuff. Man, that was pretty fun, man. That was fun. It's all a dance for taxes, but the money isn't worth anything. Do we work for it? Oh, you're not talking to me. Yeah, I mean, but I can't tell you that I know all of the, like, I don't remember all of the amendments. Like, you know, like, I mean, if you give it to me and I get the gist of all of them, it's been so long since I've looked at that stuff. I said, I am Joey Delvano, power to the people. Yeah, but anyway, I have a hard time, like, you know, with people that, like, you don't expect in that system, people have specific jobs. Her job is she's running to be the person that enforces the law. Now, here's the thing, though. As the leader of the Democratic Party, though, the president has the power to affect the agenda for the party in which they reside. So if the president is a Democrat, then he's got the Democrats in Congress and, you know, in the House of Representatives and in the Senate trying to push the agenda that he's pushing through for the Democratic Party. But again, that's a party line thing. And the president definitely, you know, definitely pushes it. But anyway. GT Parker said, I'm here to show support and listen. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that, man. I need the support, man. Anyway, hey, man, y'all, next caller, if I can get one. This is kind of fun, man. This is a little, you know, these are the type of technical conversations I really can't do over on the YouTube channel. I mean, over on the Fanon International Boxing channel. Thank you, T. Wells. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions about how the government works? If I don't have the answer, if I don't have the answer, I can research and get to the answer pretty quickly. I wonder what the Dems version of Project 25 looks like. Honestly, it's just which corporation will it's only it's which type of corporation will run stuff. What type of plantation? Because really, truly, dude, it's all about the fucking plantation. It's all about the plantation system. It's all the plantation system. it's still part of the plantation system, whether it's a corporate plantation, an agricultural plantation, it doesn't matter. Corporate plantation, agricultural plantation, it's still going to be the one where the ownership class is going to be represented, because that's what is represented by the U.S. Senate. You know what I mean? It's all basically a plantation system. And the plantation system, you know, a cooperations of different plantations called states. You know what I mean? So, you know, things are what they begin with, man. It is the microcosm. It is the microcosm in the macrocosm. You know, it's like it's all water and ice. It's just really interesting. That stuff has always been really interesting to me. Like how if you basically understand the basic structure of one thing, you can get the gist on the basic structure, organizational structure, or whatever of any other organization. You know, there's going to be like a carbon footprint or whatever they call it to everything that's similar. I can't. This dude tried to get me. Hey, King. I'm worse over here. Just so you know, King, it's worse over here. Because when you're talking about boxing, I don't really talk about the technicalities of boxing. If you talk about politics, I talk about the technicalities of politics. And as we continue to do it, I will refresh my memory, because you say you needed to have your memory refreshed. Dude, I need my memory refreshed. I will absolutely positively whoop your ass when it comes to government. It's way worse over here. It's way worse. He said, yeah, you definitely got an edge on it. Dude, I didn't even talk about politics, man. I didn't talk about politics at all. I talked about governance. See, the problem, brothers, do you understand the difference between politics and governance? Politics and government are not the same thing. Those are not synonym. You have politicians, but you have plenty of people that work in government that are not politicians, but they're still involved in politics. You have politicians that are trying to run down the government. They don't believe in less politics. They believe in less government. There's a difference between politics and government. Politicians, elected politicians, represent the people, while the employees work for the government. I mean, government and civics and politics and sports and education and dog, I got you every way that you possibly can get somebody, except for in your the fact that you speak more languages than I do. And your familiarity with Islam. Other than those two areas, I don't think that you have a rat's chance in hell with me with anything. I was told that politics is who benefits from society and who does not. Now, politics, the way that I think about it, is the relationships between people. And how people behave as a group. You're not more global than me. I've been on the globe longer than you. I'm more global than you. Politics is the relationship between people. And how those people are grouped. And how those people are grouped. Politics is the relationship between people. Eric P said, I agree with you about getting rid of race classifications. I'm cool with not calling myself white or being classified as white anymore. Eric P, that would be the most powerful thing in the world. But I will tell you, Eric P, man, you saw what happened when Rachel Donaire tried to say she wasn't white. They ain't going to let that shit up off your back too early. They're not going to let you off that shit too easy. Hey, you crazy if you think I'll debate you. Oh, who you talking about? Zulu Line, you crazy if you think... I mean, dog, we can debate things we can debate, but hey, dog, I'm telling you, I'm about to catch up this. I'm about to catch up on this shit. I'm about to be a beast on these politics. I just don't know how like the electoral college works. Race is pseudoscience. It is. It's terrible. Race is pseudoscience. It is. Dude, I am extremely, extremely European, dog. The fact of the matter is that culturally, I'm Black European. I'm Black American. That's what I am culturally. Oh, you're not going to debate me on that? On government? What do you mean? You're not gonna debate a guy that what about my bloodline? Dude, I'm a Black American, man. That's what I am. That's the best I can get. That's as broad as I can get. I mean, that's as specific as I can get, I think, is Black American. That's as specific as I can get because it's below just being an American because I am definitely within a category of Americans. And the category of Americans that I fall within, I say is Black. I went to a Baptist church. Everybody in my family considered themselves or were called and viewed as Black. That's what I am. I can't say that I'm African. I've been to Africa, but I'm not African. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, I know that maybe there was a time in the United States where people would like be ashamed of admitting that they are of African lineage, that there was a lot of embarrassment around that, and that there needed to be a conscious effort to view Africans in a much more positive light and to contribute and to appreciate the contributions of Africans to the entire world. And to see Africans as human beings equal to any other. And that when Black Americans used that for a long time, it was an insult to call somebody an African or call somebody Black. Because there was a stigma and punishments associated with it. But that's not the case anymore. Hopefully, but it is the case now. But not, it still is the case, actually. Let me be very clear. That still is the case. However, since I don't have that negative feeling or need to feel better about the fact that I am clearly of African descent, I do fully know that I am not of Africa. I am not in none of them nations up in there. Was I born in, or do I like really understand the culture? And trying to fit in, I would be very out of place. Very out of place. But I'm not out of place in the United States. I'm very at home with the noobs. I'm very at home when I go to Chicago. Very at home in Chicago. Very at home in Chicago. Very at home. And I get less at home the further away from Chicago that I get. But I still feel very at home anywhere in the United States. But that's what it is for me. I can't tell you that I feel like, oh yeah, I can roll to Venezuela. Yeah, let me go run to Zimbabwe. Man, they're gonna be looking at me like, who? What are you again? Yeah. I definitely wanted to respect. I made sure I went to Africa before I went to Europe. Out of just respect for the suffering of the people of the slaves from which I am descended. Because do not tell me that I did not get descended from slaves. Now, you may say that they enslaved people and they enslaved people who are already here. I'll believe that shit in a second. Does anybody want to know why I believe? For sure. I'll tell you why I believe that black people were black people here before and they were turned into slaves. Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. So, yeah, I absolutely positively believe people are already here because they lie like a goddamn rug and it's cheaper. It's cheaper to get the ones that are here than it is to bring them in. You said it's because it's, yeah, I know. Yeah, of course it is, man. Of course it is. Black people are already here, man. That doesn't take anything for me to believe that. Absolutely, positively. We was kicking it at clubs. It would not be so. It would not. Seriously, for real. If I had a time machine, I would not be surprised if you went back 300 years and no joke, somebody was twerking at a nightclub, bro. I wouldn't be surprised at all, bro, that we are post-apocalyptic in this mug. That this literally is a post-apocalyptic. They always talk about all this other post-apocalyptic stuff. I would not be surprised if America right now and the world as it is not post-apocalyptic compared to what had been in place a million years ago. That wouldn't deny me at all, bro. That wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the truth. It's more logical, bro. Like the whole Atlantis thing. Phenom, you be saying, no, dude, that's what they say in Atlantis. Jared W., that's not me. That's the Legend of Atlantis. Jared W., have you ever heard of the Legend of Atlantis? The Atlanteans? That's the concept. The concept that there was a very, very advanced society and that there was an apocalypse. And the apocalypse covered the world. And then all of humanity had to start over again. That's what Noah's flood is. That's what they're talking about with Noah's flood, where it rained for 40 days and 40 nights and everybody died in the world except for Noah and the people that were on the boats. That is the story. The Noah's Ark is an apocalypse. That is an apocalyptic tale. You know what I mean? Yeah, like nature reset. I wouldn't be surprised if that shit was true at all. Why? We're living on a little piece of rice floating around in a sea. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Do you not see how big the universe is and how small this planet is? Why? And it's a living thing. Why wouldn't it live and die? Why wouldn't it live and die like anything else? Why wouldn't the planet live and die like anything else? Why wouldn't it change and grow and shift like every other living thing that is on it? Come on, man. If you're not going to believe what people tell you, don't believe any of it. And keep your mind open, because the United States of America already had people here, bro. That's why Illinois, there's something called Deerfield. It's called Deerfield, Springfield. That's why there's cities all over the United States with native names like Chicago, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. They got all kind of native names in the Midwest, all kind. I wouldn't doubt if in Manhattan weren't all of those cities, all of those boroughs, they were incorporated after the fact. It was in I can't pronounce that name. Sorry. Thank you, Eric P. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if there were Europeans over here for years, chilling. It would not surprise me at all if there were not Europeans living here for a long time before Columbus. I wouldn't be surprised I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I'm not telling you I know that that's the case, but if you just look at how human beings behave right now, what do? What's going on in Israel? That's a colonialist settler. That's a colonialist settler type of project over there. Give it 3,000 years. There was never a Palestine at all. They'll rewrite the books. Give it a couple thousand years. You know what I mean? Shit, look what they do. They got men thinking they women right now. Shit, these people ain't shy about brain screwing you. Hammett was traveling here in the times of Solomon. Just telling you, there are pyramids in southern Illinois. Facts. I'm telling you. You guys just believe. You believe what you learned in school about history. They don't teach you how the government works really until you get to law school. Most people have no clue how the United States government actually works. So they don't even know what corruption is, because you don't know if something's corrupt if it's operating the way it's supposed to operate. You know what I'm saying? Like they say that about boxing. Like if you don't know how the sanctioning bodies are supposed to work, how do you know that it's corrupt? If you don't know how to score a boxing match, how in the world do you know if it was a robbery or not? Marcus Priest, how can I help you?
Yeah, man, I just want to tell you, great show, man. I'm sorry we got cut off, man. My phone overheated when I was outside. Yeah. But yeah, I'll catch you on the boxing channel in the morning, man.
All right, man. Get back, Marcus. Peace.
All right, bro.
Salute to you, sir. So you got to go to law school that they teach you that. No, Jared W., they do not teach you that. To know how the government really works. No, you do not. No, they do not. You want to bet? Jared W., you want to bet? You want to bet? You want to bet? You want to bet? They give you an overview. They give you an overview of it. An overview. Bet? Okay, no worries. Get up here. I got a couple questions for you from your high school classes. And let me know if you know them. From your high school class. You're not going to get a full understanding until your ass gets a fucking PhD in the subject. Hey, I got some questions for you. From your high school class. Hell yeah, I'm being for real. I bet your ass that I start talking about some shit about how the judicial branch works, and your ass will not know it because they do not teach you that shit in high school. No, they do not. No, they do not. No, they do not. You just had an honor roll student in government in high school, didn't know shit about what I was talking about. That dude was an honor student. And King, didn't you say you were an honor student weren't you an honor student in government or something in high school? But they do teach you the federalist system in grade school. They do start doing that in grade school. But you don't know what it means to interpret the law. So if I say it's your job to interpret the law, you don't know how to interpret the law. They don't teach you how to interpret law. I'm just telling you, they don't teach you how to interpret law in high school. So you have almost no idea how the Supreme Court does their job. You may know generally what they do. AP, government, advanced placement. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. And dog, that shit's still the 12th grade. It's the 13th grade. Man, I thought somebody was going to want some smoke over here, bro. I thought that somebody was going to tell me. I thought we had to, come on, man. Come on, man. I thought some of you slick ass dudes was going to come over here and try to be smart with me. Dog, I was in school for political science for 4 years, dog. And I swear that shit ain't never come in handy. I was so damn, well, actually, it's come in handy a lot because I do know a lot about government. But no joke, bro. Whooping King's ass and knowing King can't fuck with me on that shit, dog, it's so wonderful. Man, it'll take me 3 months and I know the parliamentary system better than y'all too. Yvonne Morgan, I can't see your picture. But give me 1 second because somebody's supporting the chat today. You know I'm out here. Oh, Configure Cameo Studios. I see you. Give me 1 second. Let me get this. So, what? Oh, thank you, Daryl. Daryl McKinney, big time. Said, hey, man, thank you for that $25 holler, brother. Paying for the chat, bro. Thank you, man. And hey, Adrian say, congrats on the new channel. Thank you, bro. I missed that. Thank you, Adrian Molina. Thanks. I hope you guys are enjoying this, man. Is this enjoyable? Because I'm getting into the flow of talking about this stuff, man. But I had to get the channel cooking first. Hey, Mr. Henderson, man, said the knowledge you bring, hey, for the knowledge you bring daily. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, we could have doctors jump up on here. We could have all kind of people really giving you what they know. You know what I'm saying? Know I'm saying? I got you, brother. Yvonne Morgan, how can I help you? Configure Cameo Studio. How can I help you? I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. All right, try to come back because for some reason it ain't working. Oh, it said I definitely ride, but I never get tired of learning. Oh, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that's is a fun conversation, though. Oh, yeah. King is back, man. I ain't tripping on King no more, man. I ain't tripping on King. I've decided to forgive everybody I got beef with. No joke. I'm not holding beef with nobody. Nobody. Yeah, I've let go of all beef that I have with anybody. I don't have no more beef. No beef. It ain't worth. I don't want to invest it anymore. Fact, hey, Bumpy Tom said I never get tired of learning. Okay, cool. That's what's up. So look, here's this link again. Here, yeah, I can let it go. With here for boxing him too. I don't care. No, yeah, I don't have a beef with him. He's more than welcome to show on up, to come on up. Come on up. Yeah. Come on up here, dog. Over on this channel, beggars can't be choosers. Over here, beggars can't be choosers. I'm a beggar. I don't have a lot of people to talk to that want to chop it up with me about this stuff. And I'll talk about all this stuff too. No joke. Hey, said Noof, this channel finna blow up crazy. I hope so. That'd be great. I would love it. That is inspiration. Letting go of all the grudges, beef, and takes balls. Yeah, I got to let it go. I can't allow for my mental health, man. I can't afford to do it. I can't afford to do it. Because it hurts me. It hurts me too much. It hurts me too much not to like you. Hurts me too much to be mad at you. And at this point in time, with my fragility, which I think could be, which people can politely put as fragility, I can't deal with it. I don't have the capacity to deal with not liking you. He said, hell no, it's on site. We're here for boxing. No, it's on site, Brock Howard. Oh, it's on site. Believe it, Brock. It's on site now. I'm just going to do it without hating your ass. Dog, I had no ill will towards King, and I just cooked King's ass like, dog, I just boiled King. Dog, I just boiled King. I just wasn't mad while I did it. I don't have to be mad at you to rag you to get your ass. I don't have to be mad to whoop your ass at all. I can be completely calm, chill, and lay your ass out. I ain't Bruce Banner. You ain't gonna hate me when I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I can whoop you. I can mash your ass and be completely happy doing it. So why bother being mad when it's just as fun when it's more fun when you're happy? I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I'm letting go of that grudge, man. The grudge. You really fired, dude, though? What you talking about? Fired who? Fried? Oh, man, come on, man. Yeah. Look, man, you're not going to, dog. I am highly, let me introduce myself. My name is, look, man, let me introduce myself. My name is Martin H. Blackwell, and I am very, very well educated. But in the process of being very, very well educated, I learned that I can't possibly learn everything. So if you know more than I do in a particular subject and have more experience, I will not argue with you at lick. But if you jump up here doing that same shit to me, you better believe, dog, that your ass is going to get fried. Okay? Because I'm not making the shit up. I'm not making that shit up, bro. Trust you. I am. You people be like, have you ever boxed? Have you ever, hey, you know how they say that? Hey, Nicole, what up, Nicole? Hey, you know how they be saying they like when over on the boxing channel, they like when they don't want to talk shit to me, when they trying to size me up. Hey, man, have you ever been in a ring before? Have you ever been in a ring before? I hear that. I heard that all the time. A lot of times I'll just ignore it. Other times I'll respond to it. But every single solitary time, they're trying to get a sense of their own superiority by my lack of pedigree. My lack of my pedigree. Hey, said, I know enough to know when I don't know shit. Hell yeah, that's it. That's a key. You got to know enough to know when you don't know shit. And know enough to know that even though you know something, you may not know it like somebody else knows it. You got to tell me. I'm trying to told you. Because that's why I don't play with T. Orlando with that shit. I don't play with T. Orlando with that shit. I don't play with him. No. I know he is more knowledgeable than me on that. I know he is. Because he has to deal with it every day. So I know he's more knowledgeable on it than me. So I stay the fuck away from him. But when you talking about the things that I know, to the extent that I know it, I know what I know. If I know it, I know it. See, that's the difference. That's the thing that needs to stand out. When you know it and you know it, man, I'm not fucking with you. When I know it and I know it. If I know it, I know it. Guess what? Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis was never Devin Haney's mandatory. I know it. And you can say that shit to you purple in the fucking face. I still know it ain't true. I still know it ain't true. You know what I'm saying? Random shots at Devin Haney. What? Can we get it? What?
Don't do what the fuck you want to do.
Get out of there, Dan! 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 If you didn't think you Devin Haney fans were catching strays over here, you tripping. Dog, he was whooping down. He said, your head ain't right. Yeah, you know somebody had to catch a stray, dog. You know that, dog. You know that Devin got his 16-year-old ass whooped. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did get his 16-year-old ass whooped. Ain't nobody talk shit and got his ass whooped. They had to get Devin. They had to get Delvin off of him. Hey, man. Gotta have some fun, man. There you go, hating again. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Here I go hating again, bro. Anyway, no, I ain't hating on him, man. I am hating on him doing that shit. That's random as shit. It's all good. The full sparring is out, and we all know it really happened. DHP all day. Yeah, he got his ass whooped. We saw the full sparring. He fully got his ass whooped. He fully got that ass whooped. Ass whooped. He got that ass whooped. Anyway, dog. Woo! Oh, I don't even see this. Is why I like it. Oh, this channel is so comfortable. Every time I feel like I got to get back on boxing, I'm like, hey, man, don't get back on boxing. Like, this is so nice, man, to talk to y'all, man, and segment this particular content, man. That rock hit someone I see. What are you talking about? What rock hit somebody? What you talking about? Who's that rock? T.O. Bynum, how can I help you?
What's up, Fanon?
I'm good, man. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I never jumped on here. I'm always watching your channel, though.
Oh, that's what's up. I appreciate you watching.
Yeah, man. So I think you brought this up probably like, years ago, but you brought up the Atlantis and all that. And I wanted to know your thoughts on like, since the government brought it up and all that too, aliens and all that. And you said that you believe in God, and then you brought up that the Atlantis stuff. So it just it triggered my memory. And I remember the government was doing all that news and stuff about alien, this, that, and the other. Yeah, what were your thoughts on that stuff?
I can tell you what I think about. Okay, this is what I think about. I think that there are living entities that do not really operate within like the same reality that we do. So like I do believe that there are living things that are non-physical, that are somewhere between physical and spiritual. So okay, so all right, so like how you have air, like air is much thinner than our flesh, but it's still a material thing. Right. Like gas is a thing, but it's a lot less solid. Right. So you can't see it. So I think that there are like consciousness that exists in a physical state that's not perceptible to us. Okay. And so I do believe in that type of reality, because there's no reason to think that it's not. Because like this light can shine through air, but we know there's actual things we can't see between us. So my take on it is that, in some instances, probably like UFOs are probably things that the government has that they're not letting anybody know that they have. So like I have friends that works for NSA, right? Used to work as an engineer. And I asked him, I was like, okay, with the technology that you guys have, I mean, he's like an MIT educated engineer. So, I mean, he is abreast of the latest military technology because he's that level of an engineer. So I asked him about, well, this phone, right? This smartphone, how long ago did the government have a phone like this that they were using before I got it? And he said probably 25 to 30 years. So the technology that the military is developing is like 30 years ahead of 25 to 30 years ahead of what we get.
I believe that.
So if you see, maybe you may see some particular piece of machinery or something that completely looks like it's alien and it's not operating the way that you're used to seeing it. It very well may be that you're just seeing something that they have that's in development for them but you're not going to actually see on the street for
like internet and electric cars.
Right, like electric cars, cars, period. Or like there was no like the highway system was military. Highway systems, like all of the highway system is military. Like I-94, I-30, all of that shit. The reason why that shit was built is so that tanks could get around. That's why they're there. So eventually what they did was they commercialized it. So like I'll tell you another really good example of technology that is really a government technology that is being funded by the private dollar is blockchain technology. Like you know what you have like cryptocurrency.
Right.
Cryptocurrency is the reason that it works is because of a technology called blockchain technology, where it's basically, without being able to explain it, because I can't explain it very well. But
I've heard of it, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, well, think of it as like it checks your it's a security check when you have on the internet. So you get a key or something, a piece of technological information like a stamp that disappears, then it reappears at a certain point in the actual infrastructure, and it basically allows you to verify is your money all the way around. So it's like your transaction has an identifier on it, and it gets checked. It gets checked consistently to make sure that it is that is valid. That's how you're able to buy things with Bitcoin. But it's a ledger. Yeah, I'm not. But basically, the underlying technology is what you're looking at. That's the real valuable thing. The real valuable thing. Yeah, blockchain technology works through multiple encryption, very secure. So, but basically, anyway, that's my take on it. So the physical things that people see, more than likely, those are just technologies that you don't recognize because they don't operate the way machinery you would think it would operate. As far as the existence of life forms that are like different than human beings, I absolutely believe that. They're just kind of like we can't survive in the water. Yeah. Right. And it's just, you know what I mean? You could have beings that really exist within air, but they're so non-physical that you really can't see them any more than we can see the planet as a human being. Like take that for example. Like the human being, like it was born, it turned into what it is, but because of its size. And likewise, the size of the universe, we can't see how it all relates to each other. So it could be things that are so small or so non-physical that we can't really relate to it with the senses that we have that we're used to relating to. You may be able to relate to it with intuition, though. I hear you. So does that make sense?
That makes sense. Because it made me think about like when they was talking about the aliens and stuff, and I was like, well, we say he's creative. Who says that he wasn't creative and we just have what we need to know, and then
who is that?
We have I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. Yeah. We say he's creative, who's to say we just aren't given what we need and he was creative somewhere else and that's none of our business.
Just look. Anything is possible. Because
I find it weird how we know more about outer space than our own oceans.
It's easier to get. I think in a lot of ways it's easier to get to because you'll die. At a certain point in time down there, you can't. Your shit's gonna get crushed, just flat out crushed.
Well, that happened that long ago, right? That happened that long ago. That rich crew had a homemade submarine or something. Thought they could do it.
Yeah. That shit imploded.
Yeah. So when's the last time you put some money down on a fight?
Last time I bet on a fight was Jermaine Stavern versus what's the guy's name, man, that fought and the Mexican with the kind of pimply skin? Chris Arreola.
Oh,
That's
Did
a
you
long time ago. That's the last time I put money on a fight. I think.
Did you lose or win that one?
Huh?
Did you get that one?
I lost it. I
Oh,
was pissed. I lost like $30. I was pissed. I don't
So-
like that shit. I don't like losing money. Winning money is okay.
yeah.
Losing money sucks.
I was hot
So-
when I lost that Spence bet.
Oh, hey man, I didn't lose.
Woo.
Like I ain't putting my money on. I didn't put my money on.
I'm debating whether I will or not with this. Well, if it happens with taking Shakur, I'm leaning towards Tank, of course. Well, I guess not, of course, for everybody, but for me, it's of course I'm leaning towards Tank. But then again, I know I'd be so mad if it was a Tom and Jerry show, and Shakur, was doing his fencing thing and pulled the points out, and I'd be hot if I lost that way.
Yeah, I can appreciate it, man. Yeah. But hey, let's hold the boxing talk for tomorrow, man. Appreciate
Yeah, for
you,
sure,
man.
for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Bynum. Salute
All
to
right,
you, man.
man.
All right.
Salute.
Yeah, I think that was the favorite question I've had in a long time. Wow, I really like that question. Thank you, sir. I really like that question. For now, why do governments cover up shit about mermaids and aliens? I don't know if they cover up shit about mermaids and aliens. What are you talking about? How you mean? Why do they? If they're covering it up, how do I know about it? I don't know what they're covering up and what they're not covering up. I don't know if they are. I can't answer that question. I've never seen an alien. I've never experienced that. Terrell W. Yeah, you can get one. Give me a second. Yeah, Terrell, here you go. Damn, I got to go to the other shit. Terrell, hold on, man. Oh, there you go. Here you go, Terrell. Gotcha. We all seen aliens. They cut our grass. Nah, I ain't never experienced an alien. I've never experienced no shit like that. I know, I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely 100% believe in all kind of spiritual shit, though. ESP, all of that shit, I am a 100% no, that shit's right. They are not telling. One thing that the government were covering up, I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you what I think the government that covers up. They cover up how our minds really work. I truly believe they cover up how people's minds really work. Like, if I think I have a suspicion that if people knew what their minds were really truly capable of, you would realize, yeah, that's what the slavery is. Yeah, that's what the slavery is. Because there's something really, really funny about the fact that people will that we really aspire to keep ourselves in cages. Like our greatest accomplishment in life is how big our cage is. But if you could know the true potential, they put a cap on human ability. Like, look, you know that that nothing that a computer does, there's nothing that the computer does that a human mind cannot do. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's not. There's nothing it can do that a human mind can do. I truly believe that because it's created by humans. A car can't do anything that a human being can do. They can just do it heavier. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that a car can do that a human can't do. A human can go from here to there. You know what I mean? A human can go from here to there. A human can drive. A human can go slow. A human can go fast. It can climb over rocks, do all those things that a car can do. The thing is that you can't do it as well. You can't do it as fast. You can't move as much weight, right? But everything else, every other thing that you can, like airplanes, Well, we can't fly, but we can build a plane to fly, though, because I guess we can fly because we built a plane to fly. But we're basically copying off something in nature in order to get that done. So goes it with thoughts and and all of those things. The computer is trying to imitate what we do naturally. No, Nick Balling, in order. Yes, I do believe that. I know it to be true. Yes, I do believe that. Why wouldn't I believe that to be true? Not only do I believe it to be true, I know it to be true. There is nothing a computer can do that a human being cannot do. Nothing. Name it. Name it. If you can give me an example, then okay, I stand corrected. Last time I checked, artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence. It still works the same way that the human mind works. It's fuel, stupid. That's not a task. It can burn fuel. We have fuel. We have a different type of fuel. It's called a hamburger, boxing hacker. What do you mean? It cannot ingest fuel? Yes, we can. Do you eat? And yeah, actually, yeah, we do drink alcohol, but that's not the case. That's not the question. The question is, do you have fuel that you burn? Do you burn fuel? Yes, we burn fuel. So what's next? It doesn't have faster calculations. No, it does not have faster calculations. Hell no. No, it doesn't. Your brain makes calculations all the time that you're not aware of in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind makes connections much faster than a computer does. Much faster. Your mind makes calculations so fast that you don't think about it. Touch your forehead. Do you know how many motions it takes for me to touch my forehead as soon as I think about touching my forehead? Do you know my brain has to calculate the angle? It has to move all of the muscles and everything necessary to do that. And I don't have would you think I have to literally be conscious of every motion in my body? No. To do this. What about blinking? I already answered that question about Project 2025. I don't know enough about it to answer that question. Y'all are processing so much just to hear and see this live stream that computers can't come close to doing. Exactly. It's nothing. There's no way a computer is. And dude, you don't even need anybody else to run your brain. He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes the circumference of your activity. Oh, what a beautiful statement. The amount of calculations your mind makes when you drive is probably in the trillions. Yeah, dude, there's no question. There's no question about it. Even though at the way the input, output, the information, it's all based off what God has already given us. You're not creating anything new. All you're doing is modeling it off of something that works. That's it. But it's all right. People do what they do. You can think what you want. Are you going to debate me on that, sir? Or am I going to get off at this 2-hour 9 mark? I'm going to get off at this 2-hour 9 mark. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you to my guy, Mr. McKinney, that supported with the $25 holler. Adrian Molina, who supported with the $5 holler. Terrell just hit me for my wrench and the great show. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Terrell. Hey, man, my pleasure, man. Terrell W., you my dude, man. You know what it is. Oh, is he? Yeah, jump on. I'll talk to you for a minute, Boxing Hacker. I'll holler at you for a second about it. Hey, Terrell said, congrats on the new channel. Is it significantly different? Are you guys finding value from this? Ramu said, I understand your point of view, sir. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I believe in all that stuff. I know, matter of fact, not I don't even believe it. I know it's true. I'm sick of scientists, man. I'm telling you, they piss me off. Like, seriously, man. Like I am so struggling to understand really what my basic problem with science is. The scientific method. The problem with the scientific method, as far as I can put my finger on it, is that it's the necessity to have to prove something to somebody else. Like, I know what my experiences are, and my experiences are repeatable and predictable. And I know it. But it's not going to be accepted unless you test it, right? Like, I've got this beef, and I know, like, eventually, man, like, I'm playing on dude's turf, right? Like, I'm walking around his neighborhood. My guy, what's his name? What's the astrologist's name? What's the black dude's name? The really bright black dude. What is his name, man? Thank you, Edwin Volantine. What is his name? What's the name of the guy, the black scientist that's on everything that took Carl Sagan's, what is his name, man? deGrasse, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now watch, Neil deGrasse Tyson says something that really bothered me. Thank you, Daryl McKinney. Like, this is a real problem for me. This is like, if y'all want to see inside my mind, this is the real struggle that I'm having right now with this. Is that I see you, Nick Balling. Like, Neil deGrasse Tyson said that people believe they had out-of-body experiences. That he does not believe in out-of-body experiences. He believes it's a psychiatric issue, right? And listen to his logic, right? Listen to his logic, which is sound. But I struggled with why I have a problem with this. He said that people that tell him that they had an out-of-body experience where they left their body and they looked down in their body in a dream, that they saw the room. The reason he doesn't believe it, and this is me doing my best to like explain what he says. But look, listen what he used. He said, if I took a piece of paper, watch this. If I put a piece of paper and I lay it down next to you when you go to sleep, and it's this, see that? And I put this X down right next to you after you fall asleep. If you have an out-of-body experience and you look down on yourself, then you should be able to see this X and tell me what was written down. And he said nobody has ever been able to do it, which disproves for him that there's out-of-body experiences. If that makes sense to you guys. So here's my problem with that. How do we, in order for that to be true, it would have to mean that you see everything that you look at when you're looking at something. If you look at me through this camera, and then you say, okay, I saw you on the camera. And then after it's over, I say, well, did you see this picture on the wall? And you didn't see this piece of paper when you looked, right? Does that mean that you didn't see it because you didn't see this particular picture? No, it just means you looked at something and you remember what you were looking at. So if you're looking at your body, then there's other things that are in that room at the same time that you would not see. But then there's a second requirement that's there too. You have to assume that you're seeing with your eye. When you see in an out-of-body experience, that you're seeing the same way that your eyes are seeing. Your eyes may see only things that are relevant to you from the position that your body is in. And it may not pick up on something that somebody else brings into it. And the simple fact that you put something there with the intention of that person not seeing it because you believe that they're not going to see it may actually affect the experiment itself, depending on how out of body experiences work. The problem is that they don't, because you start with your disbelief that it takes place. If you don't believe that it could take place, then the experiment may show you what you want to see in a sort of a compromise, a sort of that, confirmation bias. But anyway, that's the thing that gets me about like that whole percent, like how reality actually exists. And what's going on, Nick Ballin? How you feeling, man?
What up, though? How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a minute, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, man.
Oh yeah, I've been down in the chat, but just listening. I wanted to chime in on what I said, or actually expand on what I was saying about computers. I was saying that computers are basically trying to copy what the human brain already does. Like when they first designed computers, they just wanted them to store information, like mass amounts of information, so we could keep track of things, what we already do naturally. And then even what they're trying to do with this AI now is take that said information and process it and then come out with outcomes and ideas, which we already do from when we come out the womb. We're already thinking, we're already processing, already taking information and using it to extreme abilities. Even when you Google something, it'll say, we brought up X amount of results in 0.22 seconds, but you can't even quantify how fast your brain works. Because you watch like a professional athlete, watch a basketball player. He runs up and then he shoots the ball, but he's doing trigonometry. In real time, he's doing trigonometry. If I shoot the ball with this amount of strength at this point, it's going to hit the glass at this point and it's going to go in at that angle. That's computing power that a computer is nowhere close to and that will never reach. Because the greatest piece of untapped technology is the human, our brain. But I could go all day about that because I love
and I don't mind, and quite honestly, I don't mind if you do. I like listening. I want to learn. Because like I said, are you in IT?
No, I'm an electrician.
Oh, same. But same. You were in technology though, so
yeah. Because even our heart works off a rhythmic beat, which is the same thing that's very similar to electricity. Like our heart beats off a frequency, electricity works off a frequency. And then electricity can pick up different electromagnetic fields all around it. Meaning your heart can pick up those same electromagnetic fields and they can alter your body just like those different fields can alter the electricity.
I don't understand. How would the fields affect your heart?
All right, so you ever like a blackout? The power ever go out and you can feel?
Oh, yeah.
That's an electromagnetic field. Or you sit on a transformer and you can just feel that tingling on it, the little green box. That's that electromagnetic field pulling on your body, pulling on your heart. So not like damaging it, but all these different fields can have an effect or change. So like. Or even you can be in the house and you can feel somebody else is in the house. That's not in your head. Like that's actually a real thing because you're picking up the electromagnetic field from their heart in the house. So that's like a scientific way to prove a lot of spiritual things that we go through and that we see and that we feel. Like there is this, like people always try to use science and all these things to detract from God when science really supports God and everything that he's done. But that's all I got for today. I ain't gonna go too long. But
man, you better stay your ass back on this channel, Nick Ballin. Yeah, man, I fucks with that, man. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, yes, appreciate you, man. Love the channel, man.
Hey, man, I like that, man. That was beautifully stated. I understood your point. I learned to look at something in a different way from the point of view of an electrician. Ain't it amazing Like that's why God is so amazing. You can look at it and see it. You can see it in the law. You can see it in the electron. That's what I'm saying. It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. But I appreciate you, man. That was fire, man. No joke, Nick Ballin. It really was.
Oh, yes, sir. All right, man.
All right, brother. Get back, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was nice, man. That was nice. Yeah, man. Oh, dude, let me tell you something, man. You know a whole lot of shit if you just trust that you know. If you just trust that you know. Yeah, that was really good, man. But I see that old boy didn't want no smoke with me. But I'm out, man. Much love to everybody in the chat. We did our 2 hours and 2. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll holler at y'all. Man, hit people to the conversation we having, man. And we'll grow it slowly over time, man. Much love to everybody. And with that, I'm out. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace. Oh, Kodak Cam, you are? Oh, that's what's up. Oh, Boxing Hacker. What's up, Boxing Hacker? Yes, Boxing Hacker. I can't hear you, man. I'm trying. Hey, hold on, Daryl. I was gonna let Boxing Hacker is having mic problems.
Yeah, no, you hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
What's up for Mr. Blackwell?
I'm well, man. I can't complain. How are you, Mr. Hacker?
I'm pretty good, brother. Hey, you know what's crazy? Me and you think the same way about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, I dislike him as well. And what made me really dislike him was sort of along the same lines why you did, but mine was based on his ideas about philosophy. You know, he made this, argument how philosophy wasn't useful, like he said that there's no reason why students should be learning philosophy in school. It's not like a useful subject, so on and so forth, And he's always going on with this notion of like, well, science is only factual things. If you can't, we don't need to have to theorize about anything because if it's not proven by science, it shouldn't exist. That's his whole like premise, And that always rubbed me the wrong way. One, because I don't like the fact that, hey, I understand you're like an astrophysicist. That's your lane. I respect that. But then you start talking to people about philosophy, knowing that you yourself don't know much about philosophy. It's not like you're expert in philosophy. And it's very, for people who like study philosophy, you can actually tell he doesn't know much about it. But then you're discrediting the whole coursework of it. So like I'm definitely in tune with that same notion. Like, like even if you look at science, right? Science has always been a thing where, like, it's not about facts; it's about like discoveries. Like before, like Einstein, we didn't know about the special theory of relativity. We didn't know that time wasn't what we always thought time was like a linear thing. But Einstein came; he taught us different things. And different scientists, to me, what makes a great scientist is somebody who challenges the status quo, who tries to figure out different theories about things, versus somebody who just recites things from a book of knowledge he knows. And that's always been my disdain for Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you ever watch like Michio Kaku, I'm more of a fan of his. The guy who came up with like the string theory and stuff like that. Yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson for me, all of them are they're very, very materialistic.
Yeah.
So if you're materialistic and you're deterministic, and if you're materialistic, deterministic, and what's the other one where you are where you believe it's not deterministic that I'm looking for, but basically like where you can it's like a mechanistic view of reality. Where
right.
you believe that everything can be reductionist. I think that's what I'm looking for. That everything can be reduced to a smaller part, right? So if you can't figure out what all of the parts that are in the machine, and you can't test it and repeat it, therefore, and it's not predictable and repeatable consistently, then therefore it doesn't raise to the roof. That doesn't raise to the level of a law. Right? A natural law. And they operate off hypothesis or in theory, and people continually try to outwork the theory. But one of the things for mathematicians are that you have, even within the discipline of mathematics, you still have people that view things very, very differently. And so from my understanding, there's a new school or a recent school of mathematical thought that says that it is the mathematicians themselves, by theorizing that things work a specific way, that math and the actual laws of math will adjust themselves to
Based on observation.
take into consideration from what was created through the mind of the mathematician himself. So in a book that I was reading earlier this year, I think it was One Mind, the book One Mind. I could look it up, but they talked about how mathematicians were noticing that their theories, where there was no proof for their theories before they developed a theory, that things that supported their theories eventually started to become they started to manifest.
Like they're generating the truth from the theories, basically, versus
that they're literally creating the rules themselves. That the way that they see reality and the fact and the way that because math is a way to interpret reality or represent reality.
Right.
But basically saying that because you are saying that it works this way, that it begins to work the way that you said it worked. So it's becoming reality and mathematical laws are malleable to the intentions or the beliefs of the person that's applying them. So when you start saying that certain things if mathematical laws are not concrete themselves, then how can you say that the things that are result are from math itself are so concrete? But so what they are typically doing is everything has to exist materially, and there is no value to belief. There's only valuable value to things that you can observe and things that can be repeated. But love is not truly, your feelings are not truly observable. Only the manifestation of those feelings are. Can you get a sense of the underlying emotion? So there are things that do exist or the inability to deal with things that deal with non-existence, right? Anything that took place before the Big Bang, right? So you say the Big Bang, something happened from nothing. Well, what happened before anything was happening? Nothing. But since there's no thing, does that mean that everything comes from no thing? So if everything comes from no thing, then how can you say every rule or thing in order to be true must be already laid out in a rule when everything itself comes from non-existence?
Exactly. And I think that's always the limitation of Neil Tyson. I feel like it's
not just a limitation of Neil Tyson DeGrasse, whatever his name is. It's not just a limitation for him. It's a limitation towards the religion of science. Just like there is limitations towards just complete belief in the biblical interpretations of reality. And see, that's where science really took off, because they could say, hey, we've got some things that were written down in a religious sense that explain how the world works. But a lot of that was allegorical. So like the world, like saying, hey, man, the Lord made the earth, the God made the world in 7 days. And what the concept of a day is. They disproved that they were disproving the people that were taking biblical scripture literally by showing you in the physical world how those things don't actually work like that. But they missed the strength of religion, and that religion catches truths that cannot truly be represented in the physical world. So I think that science does not have an appreciation of things that cannot be proven by itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, science is something you're supposed to like.
It's an approach.
Wonder for things like that, you know. So like I always say that truth is the death of science, right? When you have facts, it becomes the death of science. The reason I say that is because when you have facts, there's no need for any more theorems. There's no need for anything. There's just what is, you know. But there's so much to the world, to the universe that we don't know, that I think that's where things like the beauty of science come from, where like you're supposed to start exploring. Like, okay, we have this theory, like Einstein. I remember Einstein's the last thing that Einstein wanted to discover was a theory of everything, right? He ended up passing away before that. You know, I would expect other his successors will also do the same thing. People will wonder like, okay, how's everything work together? Because there's things I'm sure that back then there were things where we got wrong, and I'm sure there's still things that we get wrong today, and that's just that was always my argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was always looking for that objective truth, or he had like objective truths defined, and he was just like,
yeah, but he's very careful. He's very careful with what he says and the way that he says that it's not usable for scientific purposes. But if your purpose is not scientific, but hey, man, I'm gonna bounce, man. I gotta go, bro. I'm at 10:30 exactly.
No problem, man. Good chopping up with you.
Hours. Hey, man, it's good talking to you, Boxing Hacker. I'll get back with you, brother.
All right,
Peace.
brother.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. I definitely enjoyed this conversation a lot. I hope you guys did. I know it probably got a little heady at the end, but y'all will be a little bit smarter for listening. Y'all will be able to put up with a little bullshit a little bit longer in your lives, But anyway, man, much love to everybody. Y'all, I'll see y'all talking about this boxing tomorrow. Yes, I've heard of Kemet. Yes, I have. Ancient Kemet, yes. And are you talking about like the sciences of Kemet? There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff out there in the world that I've heard of that I don't know fully, though. All right, y'all. With that, I'm out. Deuces.